All right, what's up, guys? So, I'm Grant Gilsdorf. I'm one of the art teachers here at Olentangy Liberty High School. Now, when I tell people I'm an art teacher, I'm often met with the same response, and it goes something kind of like this. I actually don't have a creative bone in my body, to which I want to respond with, that's your problem, sir. Your bones aren't responsible for creativity, it's your brain. But I don't, because if I'm being honest, I just feel sorry for them. And it isn't because they're not creative. It isn't because they don't have a creative bone in their body. It's because they've chosen to believe in this narrative that's going to limit the rest of their lives. You see, we tend to think of creativity as like this magical entity that certain people get bestowed upon them and other people do not, right? Like there's some sort of Oprah-like being out there that's like, you get to be creative and you get to be creative, but you guys are out of luck. And that's it. You either have it or you don't. And that's not really how creativity works. I wish it was like that. As a creative, if I could claim magical powers over other humans, that'd be pretty rad. But that's not how it works. Instead, creativity isn't a state of being at all. It isn't something that you're born with. It's something that you develop. It's something that you do. And because it's something that you do, it's something that you can improve at. The same way that you could get in physical shape, you can get in creative shape as well. So, let's take a moment real quick and let's just define creativity. Creativity is an active process of making new and innovative connections that are relevant to a given problem. It's kind of a radical definition because we're saying here that it's an active process of creating innovative connections. This is where things get twisted, guys. People think that if you are creative, that you're just struck with a lightning bolt of inspiration, like we just sit around and then all of a sudden something comes to us. And that's not really how it works, right? Creativity is an active thing. Things are constantly rattling around in here and you're making connections, and then eventually when something clicks, your intuition tells you that you're onto something. So take, for example, the play Hamilton. A lot of people think of Hamilton as like one of the most innovative and creative plays of the 21st century. And it is, but to say that this dude just kind of dreamt it up and just thought of it out of the blue diminishes the work that was put into it. If we look closer, Hamilton combines the director's love for hip-hop, specifically rap battles, with a hyperfixation on a very specific founding father, right? That in itself, when you put those two elements that don't belong together, that act is creativity. And the act of creativity is what leads to originality. It was the same sort of thing when I was in college. All my homies were like, dude, you gotta see this Kill Bill movie. It's crazy, it's gonna change everything. It's so weird, man. And so I saw it, but it was pretty obvious what the influences were there as well. It's one part samurai, one part anime, Western, and a very thinly veiled like tribute to Bruce Lee based off of that picture. So, this is a better way to think of creativity. On this side over here, we have a life-vivifying force that adds dimension and form to the world. And on the opposite side, we have something very, very simple. The opposite of creativity is a derivative, which is to say more of the same. And trust me, the world does not want more of the same. That's why it's really weird to me when somebody would self-opt on that side. There are a lot of people out in the audience who say, I'm just not creative. And that's crazy. There's another word for that side that my students know very well, and you do not want to be hit with this label. Boom, basic is bad. You do not want to be basic, right? And it isn't just creatives in art that uses creativity. It's everywhere. In fact, I would argue that it's probably going to be the commodity of the future. In fact, businesses already are modifying their hiring practices to try to account for applicants' creativity. And while it's difficult to measure someone's creativity, it's undeniably important, right? And I think that Gary Vee, who's the chairman of VaynerMedia, the big major marketing firm, said this: I couldn't even tell you where 80% of our employees went to college, which is probably a lie. It's just not important. We're putting a premium on mavericks, on innovators. I don't want the kid who knows the rules of marketing. I want the kid who's using them to design his own app in his basement. And now, careful parents, I know you're like, no, that's not true. College is important. Yeah, for sure. College is important. But what's telling about this quote up here is that it is very obvious that he wants to surround himself with creatives. So we know that creativity is important, and we know that that is what the future holds, and that now even businesses want it, that you're going to have to do more than build a resume, that you're going to have to develop something. So then the question becomes, how do I get more creative, right? Because you all have the ability to be creative, right? We now know that if you don't think that, you are still believing in a lie that you're telling yourself. Now, the best part about this, how you get more creative, it's super simple. The first step and the easiest step is to just live your life. But you gotta live your life with intention. You have to live your life and engage. That's a specific way of living a life, right? That's a totally different way of going about doing things. Instead of just sleepwalking through, you're going to intentionally engage in the world around you. So picture yourself right now as an island. You're an island out in the middle of the ocean, and this island has everything that you need. It's got your people, it's comfortable, it has all of the requirements. You don't ever have to leave this island if you don't want to. But if you stay on this island, you're not going to be creative, right? Because creativity is an action. In order to pursue creativity, you have to leave the island. You have to get off of that island. And if you leave that island, in that infinite ocean of inspiration, you're going to find all sorts of different things. Out here, there's things like books and food and jokes and movies. And when you're ready, you go even deeper. You don't just watch those movies, you engage with those movies. You think about what those movies can give you. Maybe they inspire you psychologically, emotionally, artistically. The same with jokes. Maybe you hear something new and it leads you down a whole new path. There's all sorts of things out here. Fashion, religions, cultures, music, podcasts, games, relationships. Out here, all of the fodder you would need to be creative exists, right? But it's not coming to you. It's not something that just strikes you like a lightning bolt out of anywhere. It's an active process, right? So, you've probably heard this phrase before, you are what you consume. Nowhere is that more true than in creativity, right? If you are only watching the same sort of shows, then that's the only place you can pull from. If you only eat peanut butter and jelly, you don't know that there's any other sandwiches that are out there. So maybe you'll be that super creative kid who's like riding his scooter sometime, like down the street, and he's like, dude, I hate walking. I love riding a scooter. The only problem is I can't carry my cooler with me. And then bam, you come up with the greatest invention of the 21st century, the cruising cooler, right? Maybe not, but it definitely is creative, right? So creativity isn't something that's exclusive. It isn't scary. It isn't held for specific individuals. It isn't a birthright. It's something that we all have access to. So that's why when I hear somebody tell me, I don't have a creative bone in my body, this is what I picture. I picture this dude just kind of opting out, marooned, left alone on an island, and out there in the ocean, just past this frame, is all the inspiration he would need to enrich that life. And there's probably some people out there in the audience too who feel the same way. You're like, cool, nice talk, dude, like your shoes, but not creative. You are creative, guys. You have it in you. We all have it. You have to choose to engage, right? So here's your assignment. After this, try something new. Brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand, or take a different route to work, or try reading a different genre of a book. And when you're ready, go a little bit deeper. Start asking yourself how that book was different than the other ones that you read and what it offered you. And then go a little bit deeper and become more discerning and start surrounding yourself with the things that enrich your life, that vivify you, right? And if you do that, all of those pieces become a part of you. And when you're faced with a problem, now you don't get to know which one of those things that you consumed along the way provides the spark. Somebody might even say that you can come up with a creative answer. Boom. So, that's it. Let's go be creative. Thanks, guys.